Welcome back to another episode of Heavy Rotation, a tribute to Cleveland metal and beyond. We're going beyond tonight to Tiffin, Ohio. We got Mr. Zack Ferris in the studio, in the virtual studio, as it were.
Yeah.
And we're just going to get right into it. We talked about this a little bit before, but being that you work with Limb Splitter for a while, I was just curious to ask that you came into that, keeping in mind that Devin Swank of Sanguisugabog was the original vocalist. Did he recommend you to take his place with that project?
Yeah. So, how that all started was, I knew everyone. We had played a few shows together, being Dissected and Limb Splitter. So we had gotten to know each other through, just playing mutual shows. I played with Bog a few times, Tomb Sentinel a few times. All the different Endeavoners. But anyway, he had to go out with Bog, I believe the situation was. He was going out on tour, and there was a date for Limb Splitter that he wasn't going to be able to do, and he recommended me, and I gracefully accepted that and learned their entire set in, I don't know, like a month or something like that. I went there a couple times, which, that's about a 2-hour drive. It's not too bad. But, went there and practiced with them a couple times and filled in for one or two shows. I can't remember if I filled in for one or two of them, because I filled in for Tomb Sentinel as well one time for the same reason that he had to go out with the Bog. He used to call me a stunt double. I know. I filled in for him a few times, and eventually he left Limb Splitter, and Dan and the boys just kind of decided that since I had already filled in a couple times, it made sense to ask me if I could do things on more of a long-term basis. And the rest is history. Worked with Limb Splitter for, it was like a year and a half, 2 years. I think I was with them.
Yeah, right on. And then shout out to Joe Reed, who is their current vocalist, we'll say.
Yep.
I know that, or because Dan came on this show recently too. So I know that, big shout out to Dan, great guy.
Love Dan.
He is, man. He's done so much, within the, death metal and brutal death metal. Yeah. But he's very
the most genuinely nicest dude in the world. Like,
yeah, he is.
I have no ill things to say about that man. He is such a good guy.
Yeah, 100%.
And an awesome drummer. Let's not forget, the man can play a drum set.
Yeah, he's very humble about, his abilities.
Yeah, I know. Most drummers are. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's like there's a bit of it's good to have an ego in a way, but it's just like how you use it, like right before you're about to go on stage, you should probably have a bit of an ego because,
get yourself hyped up.
Yeah, but then, when like somebody's talking to you after the gig or just in most of the other times, right, it's like, I don't want to be a dick,
Yeah, I honestly, I have a hard time taking compliments, so I understand how that goes. I get a little flustered if somebody tells me I did something well. I'm like, shucks, thank you. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like,
yeah,
I don't take that very well, but it's appreciated. I just get nervous.
Of course, man. And then I was sort of curious, like if you during that time, if you worked with Limb Splitter for, a year to a year and a half, I know there's some new material, or maybe I don't want to say this wrong. We'll just say there is some material that's yet to be released, Maybe
Yep.
it may have been written for a while. But did you have any part in like writing lyrics or suggesting like song structures? Given that you spent a good deal of time with the band.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I wrote during my time with Lim, I wrote two songs with those guys, and we played them, I believe, every single time that we played, and I believe they're still existing. I believe they're still using them. Um, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, that they were still going to stick around, but they probably changed lyrics. I would assume that they probably have Joe write new lyrics or whatever, however he decided to do it, because we didn't record anything while I was there. Unfortunately, I was kind of stoked to do the EP, but uh, we just time's an issue, man. Being a parent and living 2.5 hours away from the practice spot, I work full time. I am normie of all normies. It just wasn't feasible to make the time. Needed somebody who could be there every practice and just be a little more active in it, and I 100% understand that. So
For sure.
that's just the way it's got to go.
Yeah. But with Dissected, it
Mhm.
seems to me that that's your baby, as it were. Or
It's my baby.
yeah, and it specifically, because I have your Bandcamp open, like it specifically says from Tiffin, Ohio.
Yeah.
Art Chase, and I want to say like I saw that you guys had some lineup chases, or lineup changes.
We did.
Seems
We
that
did.
Is Chase still the bassist?
Oh yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Oh
And
yeah.
and then is it Trenton the guitarist?
Yes, Trenton plays guitar, and we have a new lead guitar player. His name's Jeremy Gilchrist, also out of Tiffin, and we have a drummer, a new drummer. The founding drummer, he left last year for health reasons and just also time being an issue. He had just gotten married and looking to settle down and have a family. Can't hate that, but he took off. We still love Steve so much, but we got a new drummer. His name's Zach Shepard, out of shoot. I think he was out of Norwalk or Attica. One of those two is his hometown, Norwalk or Attica. But if anyone's heard of Broodmonger, that was his band prior to Dissected. So he's a phenomenal drummer.
Right on, man.
Very technical, very, very technical, which is new for us, but it's working out pretty well. So
Yeah, you guys, in playing the two releases you have, um, the self-titled, but we'll say like the main thing, like just to my ear, with the self-titled, it sort of has more of a like a like a grindy kind of like, and then perhaps like some of the like Entombed type influences, like
Mhm.
decidedly very death metal, like old school death metal. And then like
Yeah.
with the cover art is sick for that. Who did that? Let
Ooh.
me click
Bri-
on it and see if it'll say.
yeah, go ahead. Pretty sure it's Brian Brady
Yeah, Brian
out of
Brady cover
Dayton.
art. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Brian Brady. Shout out Hooker Spit Windex.
um so dude, yeah, like that's so that was like the EP. And then was this the first release then?
Yeah, so the EP is the first release. I'm actually not on that EP. I came literally like a month after they dropped that.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay. I
yeah, that album is not me. I'm not doing vocals on that album. But I
Interesting.
love that album. So I was a fan before I was a member. I am not original. I've been with the band longer than the original vocalist was with the band, but he's not a big fan of performing. Just he doesn't like being on stages, and I get that. There's a lot of folks I know that are like that. They don't like the eyes. He wasn't really into the performance aspect of band stuff. He
Okay.
was into creating and making it, but he they played a pretty big show in Cleveland actually. It was what do they call it, the luau maybe, or the beach blast or something like that. I know there was some controversy over uh, like it being Hawaiian or something like that, like cultural appropriation type stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, that show at the Foundry dissected, opened it up with the original lineup, and I was in the crowd watching, and I think Sanguisugabog headlined. It was Sanguisugabog and 200 Stab Wounds, and I want to say Sarcophagus
Nice.
also. And yeah, it was a sick show. It was a good time. It was a really good time. But after that show, after they played, he came up to me and said, "Yeah, I didn't like that at all." He's like, "I don't think I'm going to be sticking around very much longer." He's like, "You should talk to the boys and see if you can step in." And I was like, I mean, I don't want the band to just break up. I'm like, that was sick. You might not have felt comfortable, but what I just witnessed was pretty cool. And yeah, and then from there on, that was I was the new guy. So, but that was right after they put that EP out.
Okay.
Chase is the only remaining original member.
Okay, got you.
Yep.
Does so does Chase, like, does he have a big part in the writing, being that he's been there from the beginning?
Yes. Yes, he does. So I will say on Golden Hues, which is my first full length with the boys, we did it was kind of an unconventional style of writing. And I mean, Trent wrote the riffs. It was, Chase did have some writing. He had some hands in the writing, but it was primarily Trenton and Stevie just kind of grinding it out. And we were all together. We all okayed it. We wrote it in like a session environment over at our buddy Reagan's house, and he kind of helped produce it for us, like give us tips, pointers, stuff like that. But we wanted to kind of get back to the more traditional style of writing. I think that's a little more organic. I love Golden Hues. That album means more to me than probably anything I've ever been a part of. But we wanted to. We're working on a new one right now. In about the middle stages of that, and we got back to the more traditional style of writing. Chase wrote an entire song, and it rips. And I think we're just going to continue to. We want this one to be more of a group effort. We want influences to kind of show from everybody's individual standpoint. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be a little more experimental than anything we've done, but at the end of the day, it's still dissected and it sounds like it. So I'm stoked. I'm pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing that as well. Yeah, I was gonna that makes sense in like what you're telling me, as far as the how the band the components or the people in the band have evolved, because
Yeah.
it definitely, I mean, overall it's death metal, but yeah, like with the on the Golden Hues release, like when I was listening to that, there's decidedly like some hardcore influences,
Yeah.
not in it kind of like a more modern hardcore sound to me, like I don't know, like
It's definitely in there.
yeah, like
It's definitely in
I
there.
don't listen to a lot of newer hardcore, so I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say like Code Orange or something, but like I don't really. That's just me kind of trying to think of a band name.
Sure.
But like yeah, there's some there's or like Nails or I don't know, but like there's some cool like genre bending stuff going on in there. Um,
Yeah.
and then I know you mentioned that you have played in like different bands, like prior to Limb Splitter and Dissected, like
Yeah.
with some like core influences, like metalcore bands and stuff. Um, so I want to say I saw um some stuff with I never actually talked to Trenton. I talked to Chase before, because like I had filled in with the well, I don't even think they're doing anything right now, but Pulled Under. When I filled in
Oh
on
yeah.
the one show you guys played, it was like a benefit for Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was over at the Foundry as well, wasn't it?
yeah, and then I was talking to Chase for a while. He's rad. I
Chase
never really
rocks.
talked to Trenton, but I think we might be like Facebook friends or something. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed like he does like some hardcore bands too.
He does. He's in the
Yeah,
heart. Well, not anymore, but he was in a more of a, it's like a beat down slam band. They're called Open Wound. Um, I mean, they played around the tri-state area pretty frequently. They were relatively well known within their community. So that is probably where a lot of our slammier aspects come from. We like slam. Uh, we like caveman stuff. So
yeah,
heavy is cool. We're not tied down to being, oh, we're just OSDM. Like it's the only way. I don't really play that game. I love death metal. I've listened to all things heavy pretty much my entire life. So, I can draw inspo from just about anything. But yeah, we wanted to kind of just, I don't know, do what we were good at doing respectively, per each of us. So Chase kind of comes from more of a punk rock background, punk rock and like more like Youth Crew type hardcore or like Minor Threat and the punkier stuff, the real hardcore,
yeah,
um that was kind of where he came from. And I was around during that whole time, but I listened to a lot of like, I don't know, Misfits. Like that's a big one for me. um I like the Misfits, Dead Kennedys, Nine Shocks Terror, stuff like that. But I was probably more into the metal, like the heavier side of stuff growing up. And then Trent was more into, I think he started with like deathcore and then eventually just, you know, started getting into other stuff. And hardcore was a big thing for him and his friend group, still is. Um, he's in a shoegaze band. It's like pop punky shoegaze stuff. That's what he's doing on the side. They're called Ordinary. Those guys are all sick, really good at what they do. Definitely should check them out sometime. Trent's a good guy. You should talk to him sometime.
yeah.
It's awesome.
I sincerely hope that I get to, man. I gotta
Yeah,
get out to some more shows. But
me
yes,
too.
yeah. I
Me
have a
too.
lot of gigs I'm doing, and then like you know to make some money from them, and then there'll be like a show. It's like, well, I like to go to that, but
Yeah,
now like I'm using music to make some money, so it's like, well,
right.
I just have to do this. But
I get it.
gotta be thankful for all of it. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, what was I gonna say? So, one thing I notice about with Dissected, I think is really cool. Like, you know, you guys are like you work in Cleveland a lot, and you have like well established connections here. Through your time with Limb Splitter and just like
Hmm.
just all different. You guys have been doing this for a while and
Yeah.
gigging. But then, whenever I see that you guys post stuff that you play closer to you, it definitely has that vibe of like youth crew or like hardcore, like skateboarding,
Yeah.
whatever. Like it seems like you guys play at like record shops or skate
Oh
shops
yeah.
or like churches, VFW halls. Like is that sort of like the I've just never been through Tiffin. Is it
Sure.
that kind of vibe?
Yeah, man. Very much so. So Tiffin, obviously, it's much smaller than Cleveland, much smaller than any of the major cities in Ohio, but it's still technically considered a city. I don't know. It's weird. It's not big. It's not big at all. But there's always been a music scene there as long as I can remember. A lot of bands that never really got out of Tiffin, but then there's a lot of bands that did. And there was a lot of hidden gems, in my opinion, that came through Ohio that may have never got the attention that it deserved, or Tiffin, sorry, Tiffin. And, we were always just trying to find somewhere to have a show. Like that was like the entirety of childhood for me, or young adulthood, I should say. Wherever we could go that would have us, or if we could rent a place out for a night. We had a big one. It was another benefit show. It was in Tiffin it was at the Elks, which is, if you know what the Elks is, it's just like a club, like a clubhouse. Rented that for the night for like $100, and then had paid a little extra for private bartenders, and who all played that show. A bunch of cool bands played, but a bunch of people came from everywhere. There's a lot of Cleveland guys there. I think Mutilatreds who headlined. It was awesome. It was a good time. And that's what we've been doing. Anytime we set something up, which typically, if there's something in the area, more so in the past than in this last year or so, but we were the ones that were usually putting it together. There's another group of guys that they do shows as well, but we do our best to make it to each other's events and support each other. It was a lot easier when we were younger and we didn't have a bunch of stuff going on, adult stuff, but that's I've kind of slacked. I haven't been to a show, really not very many shows in a while. Got a bunch of kids and stuff, so kind of occupied with all that, and it's just kind of got to fit into the schedule if I can make it. But I want to make it. I want to make it fit into my schedule because I just miss everybody and miss getting out and being myself, and I don't know, just live music in general. It's something I feel like my soul's missing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we did. We rented out a lot of places and just kind of wherever. We didn't have legitimate venues like, all the ones that you hear everyone playing at all the time. Class and Boundary, and then you got your ones in Toledo, got Frankie's and OT. So, yeah, there's a bunch of them. We didn't have that.
What would be like the closest what's the closest bigger city to you, like Akron, Dayton? What
Toledo's technically the closest.
Toledo, got you.
Yeah, Toledo or Bowling Green. We play in Bowling. Well, we have played in Bowling Green. So
would you say
not
like?
Very often.
I mean, sorry, I mean to talk over you.
You're good. You're good. I'm rambling.
Is is Bowling Green sort of like a college town, as they would say?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a big college town. A lot of partying.
Yeah,
a lot of partying. Yep, we used to frequent Bowling Green quite a bit in our 20s.
There, right on.
Yeah. We used to go there a lot. Not just for shows.
Yeah. Yeah, but I dig seeing that. I mean, I remember when I was younger, up here in Lake County, like this college, it's in Kirtland, which is still Lake County, but like in Willoughby,
Okay.
they would have these hardcore shows at the VFW hall. Um, they would there's like the one time these dudes came there, and this dude was burning an American flag.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, which is like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Regardless
Yeah,
of
really.
what you think, you're at a VFW.
Yeah.
You're at a VFW hall.
Right.
It's pretty rude.
Yeah. Just being an adult.
Out of pocket. But yeah, these dudes were there. They got really mad, and they wanted to beat him up. I don't think that actually happened. Another funny thing about that, one friend, he basically looked like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. If
Okay.
you could picture as a person. And
Yeah.
his eyes were just always like just dude, just
Real
like
low.
that. This guy, no, like just completely bloodshot. Like this dude's just on another planet. You know, it's smoked out. You know, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
he came in to just pay to come in the show, and these like straight edge dudes were like handling the door, and they were like really
Not
like,
so happy.
yeah, they were like, it's just like, well, dude, you know, there's someone here.
Bro, we just got to exist.
He had
Who
money to pay.
cares?
Yeah, he had money to pay to get whatever it was, $5 or whatever.
Right.
But hey, you know, I don't know. Every scene has its like little things about it. I mean, there's like,
Does.
you know, whatever you want to call that, virtue signaling, and then
Oh, yeah.
like, well, no, like I don't do these things, so you shouldn't do them. Like, do you? Or, and then like with some of ours, you know, death, like you were talking about, like, well, no, we're not just going to be OSD. I mean, some guys are
Yeah.
very like,
Elitist.
yeah, I was gonna say like,
Yeah. Puritans.
yeah, like, you know, and then like there's black metal and stuff. But I like to think, you know, you get to a certain point where you just kind of like, a lot of that is just like pumping your chest out. Like when you're in the same room with people, you see how they really are.
Yeah.
A lot of
for
times,
sure.
yeah, it just never ceases to amaze me. Like some people that they'll say do like wild stuff. And sometimes they're just like resharing something that someone else put like in social
Sure.
media. But
Yeah.
then when you're around them, they're fine, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like really, really, really heavy internet personalities, but in real life, just kind of a normal teddy bear, nice guy, like, or girl.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I know how that goes. I know how that goes.
So, but anyway, so, you know, in your path as a musician, you know, I know a lot of times singers singers are some of the most humble people. Like Joe, when Joe was on, Joe Reed, Limb Splitter, and he does like what's it called, like KNB and Mutated Sex Organ, like all these crazy like grindcore. He would
Yeah.
like, he'll like cut you off mid sentence. He'd be like, no, I'm not a musician. I'm not, you know, he's like super humble because he just
Yeah.
doesn't see
Yeah,
himself
yeah.
that way. But, you know, have you always been a vocalist? Like, did you try your hand at other things when you were younger coming up, or?
Yeah, actually, I'm like a born drummer. Well, not everybody knows that about me. I was kind of like born knowing how to play drums. I don't know how else to describe it. I never really took lessons. I mean, I played percussion in high school, like for the marching band for a couple of years, and I think I did quads, the 4 drums or whatever, and I don't know. I'm not trying to be that guy, but a lot of people wanted to play those drums and just couldn't cut it. And that was what I did. I don't know. I've always been a drummer, so I used to play drums in bands quite a bit coming up. But man, being a drummer, like, whew, you got to be passionate. You got to be passionate about the drums, and I love playing them. But you know what I don't love? Hauling them around. I don't love that. I don't love putting them up and breaking them down and putting them in the bags and hauling them off. And yeah, there's a lot. And then you got to worry about, is it going to shift around in the van or is it going to shift around in the trailer? Brake hardware from the drive. Just a lot of crap. And I always enjoyed like clowning around and being the front man, and I did it. I tried it when I was younger, and I really liked it. Um, I'll help people load their drums all day long. I try not to be a deadbeat band or deadbeat vocalist or whatever. Um, but they're not my drums, so I don't, you know what I mean. I don't got to worry about them, and it's just nice. It's nice not having to worry about drums. But I haven't owned a drum set in probably, I don't know, a decade. So I don't know. I haven't played the drums very recently, but I used to play all the time. So, yep, I'm a drummer, born drummer. Not really good at guitar or bass or any of that, but I can play some drums.
Do you find rehearsing or performing that you sort of tend to cue off of the drums more? Or?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's everything rhythm. It's everything rhythm. I follow the rhythm of things in writing my lyrics and performing. That's a lot of times that's how I base my like my lyric my vocal patterns. I'm trying to follow the kick, or yeah, yeah. I base it. It's everything in my brain. I think in rhythms. So, however the rhythm sounds, that's probably how I'm going to work my lyrics in. It's got a drummer brain. I do the tap. I tap on everything all the time. Still, it's a big deal. Drums are awesome. Need more drummers.
We do.
We need more drummers.
Like you said, though, it is a lot.
Got to be
It's
passionate.
there's a learning curve because you might be
Yep.
able to. Well, I'll say it like this. I'll try to in the way you said it, to piggyback off, like, not to be that guy. But
Yeah.
I've played music for like 30 years. Like mainly guitar, and then like I had an opportunity to play a couple shows with this punk band about a year ago, which I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, let me do this, because it was just kind of like two beats you needed to know, like the
Yeah.
regular punk beat, and then like the D beat I was trying to do, like the
Yep.
discharge beat, but like
Oh yeah.
you know could I get through it and sound decent? Yeah. The thing that I was most anxious about is like just the first time I was like, cool, this is like a bucket list thing, I could say, at least if I never play drums again,
Right.
that I brought my own drums to the gig and set them up. That was the main thing I was so anxious about. Like I got there like 2 hours early. I set up my drums on the side of the stage, and then they were like, well, yeah, we kind of just thought you guys would all play on the same kit. And I'm like,
That's popular now.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, man, I got them all here. I kind of want to use, so they did move their stuff out the way for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, that can really, yeah, man, you got to be like Mr. Cool to be a drummer, because, yeah, sometimes that might happen. You might not have a choice. They're like, well, no,
Right.
you're going to play on our shells and bring your breakables. And then,
Yep.
you go and you're like, man, these drums suck. Like
Yep.
there's no amount of tuning I can do. Like the heads are just dead. And you're like, well,
Yeah, it's almost like everybody's been playing on them for however many shows. Like
yeah, right.
every band plays these drums. They're getting the crap kicked out of them.
Yeah.
But I know our drummer currently is so anal about it. He is, I paid for these. I customized these. I'm playing them like I'm bringing my drums. I don't know what to tell you. I want to use my stuff, and tear it up, brother.
Yeah.
We got your back. If that's what you want to do, then we want you to do it.
For sure.
So, yeah, I get it.
And then as you started to find yourself in the vocalist role, did you sort of work your way up to where you are now, where you have this more of like a command and how do you I don't know, I'm like overthinking this right now, but to having more of a, like, to have such a powerful voice, like, did you kind of work your way up with, like, you said you were like real into like Misfits and stuff, were you kind of like doing like some punk vocals first, and or like how did that work out for you?
Most of the bands that I would join or start or whatever growing up was they were mostly all like some kind of variant of metal, right? Like the first band that I was in that played shows that I was fronting, um, eh, big influences were like the Red Chord, Animosity,
Nice.
um, like MySpace, like the good MySpace deathcore, at least in my opinion, what I would consider to be good deathcore. That was more or less what I was going for, and that's just kind of like how those guys are. Like when they do vocals, that's or when they're performing, rather, they command the crowd to kind of pay attention, and without saying, "Hey, pay attention." They just own the stage, right? And I always looked up to that. I was like, well, that's the way to do it. Be high energy, don't be boring. I can't stand when dudes just stand there and act like they're just there to do it, get it over with, or having trouble facing their potential fear of stage fright, which I get, it's a real thing. But I mean, if you're going to be a vocalist, like, you at least have to play charismatic, and you either have it or you don't. I think I actually used to be better than I am now. Um, and the reason I say that is because there was just more passion there, man. Like, music has always been my thing, and I always wanted to go big with it, but I never did. So, I accepted it, but I still was going to perform as if I made it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care if we're small time. I don't care if we're, the most known band in the area. I really don't, but I'm going to go out there and act like, this is my job, and this is what I take pride in doing. I don't know. I like to look weird and spooky and angry and scary when we play, but that's anyone who knows me knows that is not who I am or how I am or anything like that. But it is important, in my opinion, if everyone has to carry their weight in a band, and if you're gonna do it, just do it right. Don't go up there and mimic somebody, but also go up there with confidence and do your own thing. That's the way I see it, and that's what's gotten me to where I am.
Yeah, nah, it's super important. I mean, especially as saturated as the as just music in general is, but with
Yeah.
hard music, hardcore death metal. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
there's
Everybody wants to be in a metal band or a hard band, right? Oh, seems like it. Everybody wants to be in a band. You got to
yeah,
do something different. You have to do something that's like at least unique to yourself.
yeah, and some that
So,
I mean with the music, I mean there's things that you'll hear here and there. Like I was listening to some, I can't think of a band earlier. It was like black metal, but then they had like saxophones and stuff. And it's like, oh, that's kind of
oh
interesting.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
I like that kind of stuff.
yeah, so there's people that are still sort of like, you know, a bit finding ways to be a bit interesting. But I mean, it might be. You don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel, but like you were saying, like
Right.
what you do on stage and how you carry yourself, that is really important, and leaves a lasting mark on people.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
for sure, man. Um, so with Dissected currently, I get the impression that you guys have some new material that's in the works, and that would be
Yeah.
the follow up to, let's see, January 24th, 2024 was the release date of Golden Hues of Decay.
Sir.
So Yeah, it's been about a year or two.
Yeah, a
Um,
little over 2.
yeah, yeah, but quality over quantity, as they say. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and so we're all like normal dudes. Like I said, touched on a little bit earlier. We're all normal dudes. Majority of us have children, and all of us have jobs that are full time. Like we all work full time, so we don't get together as much as we want to, but we still try and make it like once a week or so. Unfortunately, a lot of that is just like rehearsals. So we've been kind of trying to dial back the amount of shows that we're playing. That way, when we get together, we're more forced to create and work together on new stuff. And I mean, I would like to already have something out, but it's just the way it goes with Trent being active in his other band. And I mean, now our drummer lives like 40 minutes away or something like that. So we all finding the time to be together as often as we want to it's not that easy. Um, I'm 35. Chase is 35. Our newer guitar player Jeremy, he's almost 40. Um, we're just we're busy dudes. We're dads, busy dudes, busy dads,
yeah,
and yeah, we get together as much as we can. We play as much as we can, but I think we all don't want to take ourselves too seriously and you know rush things. And I don't know. We want to make sure that we have a good album to put out. We want to put something out that's gonna make people actually pause and listen to it rather than just, oh, here we go, another song with a slam breakdown. All right. Here's they did a doomy part. Yeah, we want to do something that's just a little more grabby. But
yeah,
yeah, quality over quantity. You're right.
for sure, man. So, do you tend to write when you're all in the same room?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep. We do, and we also don't. We'll write on our own time. Um, I know Trenton. So what we did with these last couple songs that we got finished, Chase pretty much wrote the entire bones to one of them, him and the new guitar player, and Trent went in and worked on some transitions, just trying to tie everything together a little more smoothly. And then he was able to come out of what they wrote into an outro or the end of the song. And there you go, right there. Everybody's had a hand in it. And I like the way it turned out. It's one of my favorite songs that we have. So I think we're going to keep doing that. That's just kind of our method. We're just going to, someone will be riffing around, bored, sitting at the house, pick up their instrument and start writing riffs. And when they're ready to present them, everybody else kind of throws their 2 cents in, and we finish it, we rehearse it, and there's our song. That's how it's been with this new stuff. So it's coming along slowly but surely. It's coming along, and it sounds pretty good, in
Excellent, man.
my opinion.
Well, yeah, man, you got to, man, or otherwise, just how's this train gonna keep going? You guys, everyone's
Yeah,
got to be
yeah.
hype on it.
Gotta like it. Yeah. Yep.
So like, do you have like, will you get a file like say like Trent or Trenton, like he'll like maybe record it on the computer and send you to listen to like that,
Yep.
something like that? Okay.
Yeah. So once we get everything kind of established, or in order to get things established, sometimes um, Trent will just write some. He'll throw some quick like placeholder drums
Mm-hmm.
behind all the riffs, and then our drummer will change everything accordingly. Because he's unique. He's very unique and likes, he sounds like he sounds. He doesn't play stuff that other people write for him. He's a drummer.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Trent. Well, at the end of the day, once we have the song kind of like put together how we think we want it, he'll throw it on. I think he uses Reaper. He'll throw it on Reaper and get it set up, and from there I will kind of place my vocals where I want them, or write the lyrics and then place the vocals. And yeah, that's how it's been going.
For sure, man. And then like it's nice to have Bandcamp open here. I can kind of look at some of this stuff. So yeah, you mentioned Reagan. It says
Reagan Brooks.
Yeah, earlier in the interview. So it says demos recorded by Reagan Brooks at Lonely Wizard Recordings, and then mixed and mastered Patrick Shakut. Is that how you say it?
Shekut.
Yep. Ah, man, I knew I was gonna get it wrong.
That's all right.
At Underhill Recordings. So you like kind of demoed out the album first, or does that just means that like Reagan did the tracking, or?
We demoed everything with Reagan. So we went over to his house. Again, this is kind of how we got the idea. It was just Reagan would whip up some placeholder drums, and Stevie would play them the way Stevie plays them. And then we went to the big boy studio with our demos. It just made everything go a little smoother. Having demos that let Pat know kind of what we were looking for sound wise, what we wanted. It helped him make suggestions. We really like working with Pat because he'll be honest with you. And I think I know I've heard other guys talk about, their preferred producers, enjoying working with them because their producers will suggest ideas like, hey, let's try this once. If you don't like it, we'll toss it. But I have an idea and I think it'll sound sick, and I think you'll think it sounds sick too. I like personally having, because art, it's cool. And that's sounds like that's probably going to be the route we take. Once we have the songs put together, we will officially demo them with Reagan, and then we'll take those demos to the studio with us. And we re-record everything in studio, but it just goes a lot quicker.
Yeah. So right on, man. So that sort of leads me to wonder, I guess that's what happens with those demos. Like, would they ever be put out like as a cool, like, I don't know. I guess it's just different nowadays. 'Cause like all the old heads or younger,
I mean,
people love demos, you know?
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know. That's not a horrible idea, but the issue with it is, if we wrote some different songs, I think, like, if we wrote separate songs and just did some more like rough recordings of them, I think that would be sick. I think it would be sick to do some like more lo-fi, more like grindy releases maybe. But with these songs, it's just, we're not going to let him go out into the world without like being happy with the way it sounds. So we want it to sound a specific way when everybody else hears it. Kind of. That's why we go to the studio, go see Pat. Yeah, he does a really good job putting things out the way we want. He's good at highlighting our emphasis. If that makes sense.
No, it does, and it's just a different time. Like some of these like ideas like that of like, well, maybe people would want to hear the demo. They're tied to an older aesthetic of metal, and kind of particularly death metal, where the tools available to record were different. Like you would have to still pay probably maybe the same amount of money that you would pay now to get the more polished recording done. To save up your money. And I'm just thinking out loud. I wasn't there, of course. I was born in 1982, so I'm 43 years and I'm 7 years older than you, but I definitely wasn't there in like 1990 with like,
Yeah.
going to see Morbid Angel. I was like 8 years old. But like,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean? So, but anyway, like, yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't like, well, we'll make a demo and there'll be like some program drums or it'll just be kind of rough to get us into the studio. And like, it was just like, this
Right.
is a demo that's actually like, we saved up our money. We went to this studio. It's probably recorded live, not to a click. And then it just has like
Oh
a
yeah.
certain charm to it of people like, especially like, I guess with these bands get so big, it's like, oh, they've already listened to those albums so many times, and they're like, oh, but have you heard the demo of Deicide or Death? They're like, oh,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, and it's just like a rawness to it that
yeah.
you know. That is the appeal to the demo, right? It's just that raw, real, very humanized sound.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sick. I think it would be cool to do some kind of project that was more raw. I love grindcore. That's my band Sarah Stain back in the day. It was just straight grind, in the vein of like Spaz, Machine Gun Romantics. It had a little power violence element to it too. That's I say Spaz and stuff, but
I love Spaz.
Oh, dude, so good, so good.
Sweating to the oldies.
Classic. It's classic. Our guitar player for that band really, really loved Magruder Grind at the time. It was pre. Well, yeah, I better just shut up. It was older Magruder Grind, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it would be really cool to do something like that again, with a more raw recording too, like you know the real deal, like it's intended to sound. You really shouldn't polish grindcore. I don't think. I used to think differently, but I think it's one of those things. The more raw it is, the better. That'd be fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for it's like it, when something is bad, it's just bad. You know, I mean, like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like people to like make excuses. They're like, well, I don't want to record to a click because that takes all the soul out of it. And it's like, well, dude,
Right.
that's fine, but how many hours do you have in the rehearsal room?
Right.
You gonna
Yeah,
come in and knock it out?
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it's cool. It could be cool either way. I love stuff like Zenith Passage. It's just like basically,
Oh yeah.
Basically
Yeah.
like it's basically like
Technical.
the faceless,
Yeah,
but
it's all the best parts of the Faceless without Michael Keane. Yeah, dude.
right. But it's just like it's so good, and you wouldn't want to
So good.
hear that played sloppy. But then
Right.
some dudes, grind dudes, and they're just like, they meet up every week and they just go in the room and they just sweat it out, and then it's like,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you probably want to hear that recording, not to a click. You just go in and rough it out, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's no clicks in grindcore. There should be no clicks in grindcore. Unless it's your sticks, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want. I don't want no click track. No click track. Drummer is the click track. Follow his blast beats.
So you guys have been doing some gigging. Like, do you have some gigs that are scheduled right now?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got 3 now coming up in August. We have. Oh boy, I'm on the spot.
I can look it up here.
Yeah, well, yeah. I might have to pull up my calendar because Trent is really good at organizing the shows that we have coming up. I probably should have looked at this before we started talking. But I know we have 3 of them coming up. One of them is in Toledo. Sorry, two of them are in Toledo, and one of them is in Cleveland.
I thought
Foundry.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to look it up, but then it wanted me to sign into Facebook because I'm looking on the computer on my phone. But yeah, right on. So you're going to be in Toledo. Are you at like Frankie's or something? Or?
In Toledo, we are playing at this new place, I believe. Here, let me just see.
Yeah, I'm gonna find
Let's
it.
let's just go right down to it here.
Dissected.
On the 15th, oh sorry, the 15th we have a show on in Norwalk. That's different. And
Nice.
then on the 28th of August, we have a show. That's the one that's in Cleveland. So if anybody wants to come hang, it's 28th of Cleveland. It's going to be at the Foundry. And I believe August 5th, we have a show. I think it's August 5th. I'd have to double check. We just hopped on it not very long ago. So
No worries. Well, yeah. So anyone that hears this, go on. Well, you'll find it. But
yeah, check our socials. There are
dissected.
flyers.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Dissected OHDM, Ohio Death Metal, on Instagram, and then yeah, you'll find the fellas.
Absolutely.
So yeah, new music in the works. Got some gigs coming up.
Absolutely.
And then if you care to share, if not, I would understand because I sometimes people try to personal life separate. But I was sort of curious, like what type of work do you do, man?
I'm an electrician of sorts.
Okay.
I do like controls and like PLC programming, troubleshooting for a factory that makes parts for Jeep and Kenworth in Cary, Ohio.
Okay, right on.
Shout out CSP.
What's the city called again?
Cary, Ohio.
So that's fairly close to Tiffin there?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes out of Tiffin.
Okay, right
about
on.
20 minutes west. Yeah, it's another small little town, but I don't know. I just fix their stuff.
Yeah. So but basically you would be at the same building every day?
Yeah, I am in the same location every day. Yep.
And you're like building circuits for I'm just
troubleshooting circuits.
Okay.
So we work our maintenance team is union, so we're not union. So we let them do all the sweaty hard work. And when they get stumped or we need to install some really, really detailed, new installation, control box with a bunch of different breakers and PLC. It's controlling all the motors and all the different stuff on that given line. That's where we come in. We help them troubleshoot problems and do a lot of like upgrading existing equipment, stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty chill. It's a good way to live.
Yeah. And then like if you say you well, you're a family man. I was gonna say like I was wondering if you had like if you guys were wanting to set up like extended touring or whatnot, if they would give you the time off. But I would say maybe that's you guys are kind of just you're just consistent. Like maybe
we stay alive.
Yeah, like you don't I don't know, like
it's for the love anymore.
Yeah, like you're not like setting up like month-long tours and stuff, but like you're playing every month.
Right, we play as much as we can. But we aren't really looking to do big long month-long tours like you said. The most we could probably do like a week-long stretch of some dates. We've actually almost been set up to do that a couple times, but something has fallen through in one way or another, whether it's on our end or whether it's on, one of the other band's ends, and it just didn't work out, and that's okay. Stuff happens. Totally, we're the most understanding band because we sometimes need others to be understanding as well. Being that we're all pretty normal and family oriented, and we all have full-time jobs. sometimes, we can make that kind of stuff work, and sometimes we can't. And we don't sweat it a whole lot these days. I know there was a point in time when we were all like, there's a chance that this could take off. And if it did, like, you only live once, I'd probably be willing to part with my job at the time because, I mean, just like any job, you can find another one. Like, we live in the freaking in the Rust Belt, man. Like,
Mm.
there's all kinds of industrial jobs all over the place, and we all grew up doing that kind of stuff. So, we considered it for a while, but we lost traction when we lost members, and it really sucked. It really slowed our kind of our internal chemistry, just having to constantly keep building on that. And like I said, stuff happens, and you just kind of gotta make lemonade, as they say, right? Make lemonade out of your lemons. And we've all kind of agreed that it is more or less, this is just a passion project at this point. We all love to play together, but it's semi-serious. It's not really we're not expecting to go, you know, for the entire nation and,
Yeah.
you know, be
Well,
gone all the time. All respect to those who do that stuff, though. It's hard work, I'm sure. I know there's a lot of sacrifice.
well, yeah. You just never know. I mean, like, definitely admire um people that are in that situation where they can say, well, we're just gonna, you know, completely, like, just, it's all about this right now. We're just going all in. We're going for broke or whatever, or going,
Yeah.
you know, take it as far as it can,
Yep.
and play that game. But like I was talking to Dan about, because now, like, you know, regurgitation, where they get asked to go, like, out of country and stuff, and that's
All
sort
right.
of like not something that he ever thought would happen. So yeah, I would just say, to your credit, and to many others, the fact of just keeping the thing going. I mean, you never really know where it'll take you, and what
Right. Yeah.
you know.
That is true. Who knows? Maybe we get our third or fourth wind in 10 years or so, and
Right?
maybe we go nuts because my kids will be out of the house in 10 years. So you know,
Are your kids? How old is your oldest of the kids you have?
my oldest is about to be 14,
So at that
which is
age,
crazy.
are they, like, sort of into? Is there any overlap in music they like, and that you like, whether it's metal or
Um,
anything?
yeah, my son really likes metal. He asks that we listen to my music when we go on rides and stuff. But my daughters, not so much. If I get to talking about band stuff, they'll act like they're interested. But I have 4 kids, and they all got to come watch recently. It was the first time that they've gotten to see me perform. They came to one of our Tiffin shows, and it was awesome for me. It was cool being able to share that with them. They've known I've been doing this pretty much not since they've been alive, but the last 6 or 7 years, I've been back into it pretty heavily. So, a good chunk of their lives, I've been doing it, and it was cool to finally share that with them. It was cool that my wife was like, "All right, you can take them," but she's, doesn't want me bringing them to bars, which I don't really want to bring them to bars. Um, it just worked out to where they could come to the record store, which, yeah, I don't know, it was pretty sick. It was cool. It was cool having my kids in the crowd. So,
Yeah.
and they liked it.
Well, yeah. No, that's cool. That ties into, like I was saying before. I dig that about you guys, that your scene is like that, in that
Oh yeah.
you're not gonna I mean, for sure, you guys come out to Cleveland, you guys go to Toledo, but you're also making things happen with what you have available, like,
Oh yeah.
in the hometown.
That's where it starts for all the Tiffin bands, is right there in Tiffin. So
Yeah.
gotta try and get all the old buddies back together. And like I said, there's always been a scene there. So
Right on, man. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. We're at about an hour 5 minutes. We could sort of wind things down. And for anyone that may be listening at this moment or that'll hear this after the fact, what might you want to share with them of, fans, current fans or future fans of Dissected, I'm sorry. Dissected.
It's all good. It's all good. They're sick too.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know. To anyone who's been rocking with us since the beginning, man, we see you and we appreciate you. To those who don't rock with us, that's cool. Like, no biggie. And keep your eyes peeled. Like, we're not done. We're gonna keep going. And yeah, we got new stuff coming out. So again, I appreciate anybody interested enough to listen to me ramble for an hour with you. And thanks for checking stuff out. It's always appreciated, man. Well, I love all the fans.
Well, I super appreciate you being here, man, as well as
thanks for having me.
Yeah, brother. Of course, man, and any guest that will come on this show, I try to, it's I don't know, it's cool how it is. Like, I have enough things. It's pretty rare that like I'll like not have something to ask. Like, I never sit here and have like I mean, maybe I should, but like I don't, for better or worse. Like, I don't have like I'm gonna ask this question and this question. It's just it kind of comes to me in real time, and then the discussion happens organically, and I like that.
Yeah. It's more of a conversation than it is like a scheduled, scripted thing.
Yeah, and I feel like
I like the organic myself, so
for sure. I feel like when you do that, it leads to maybe not the most interesting interview or something, or it's sort of like just weird, like, I mean, like, yeah, like we have stuff like that in this studio for students that are like, they're sort of, they might not know what to ask, and it'll just say, well, how did you first start playing music, and what were some early, I mean, some of those questions come up anyway, but anyway, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a standard set of questions it seems like everybody asks, so.
Yeah.
And, rightfully so. But
like the hero is like, I haven't really in a while, but I used to watch like all the Nardwuar videos.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and like, just, I haven't really done that to anybody yet. I haven't tried to, like to dig really deep and then like ask them something that would surprise them.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was cool how he was able to do that,
Yeah, all those weird things that nobody knows. Yeah, that is fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. So, yeah, in closing, man, love to have you back sometime. Maybe get some of the other fellas in.
Yeah, definitely. I know Chase would love to come on and talk. I know that for a fact.
Hell yeah, and we can time that strategically with, if there's a big show coming up or future, next release. We'll go ahead and officially end the interview for tonight, and then if you want, you can hang on the Zoom call for just a minute. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, thank you y'all for listening to this show, and be sure to tap in with Dissected. Check out these gigs coming up. Get on Bandcamp and rock out with it, right?
Heck yeah.
All right, so yeah, keep it heavy out there and be good to each other. See you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.